November 12th, at precisely 2:13 a.m., a signal pulsed through the air, a rhythmic echo that felt alive, almost sentient. It was neither music nor a voice. It was a heartbeat, steady and unwavering, broadcasted from somewhere deep within the United States. The Federal Communications Commission (FCC) took note, classified the anomaly, and swiftly buried it beneath layers of bureaucracy. Yet one ordinary man, Ethan Myers, a delivery driver in rural Ohio, stumbled upon its haunting presence on a cheap shortwave radio, unaware that his life was about to spiral into an extraordinary abyss. Ethan was 32, divorced, and as he sat in his small, dimly lit apartment, the glow of the radio was his only companion. The fridge held little more than a few expired takeout containers, and the silence of his quiet nights was occasionally broken by the static of distant frequencies he had learned to tune into over the years, a hobby inherited from his late father. Each weekend, he found solace in the crackle of old radios, tuning into the voices of truckers, ham operators, and the rare pirate station. But on that fateful night, he discovered something far more sinister. At 2:13 a.m. sharp, the familiar crackle shifted, revealing a sound that sent shivers down his spine. Thump, thump, thump. It resonated like a heartbeat, each pulse reverberating through the shadows of his room. Leaning closer, Ethan couldn't shake the growing sense of unease as he adjusted the dial, and beneath the rhythmic thumping, a whisper emerged, faint yet undeniably present. He quickly scribbled the frequency down, 7.104 megahertz, unknowingly stepping into a world long obscured. The next night, curiosity beckoned him back to the radio. At the same hour, the same pulse filled the air, but this time the whisper was more pronounced. "They're listening. Stop transmission." Panic coursed through Ethan's veins, his palms slick with sweat as he grabbed his phone, hitting record. A voice grew more frantic, revealing layers of fear. "Coordinates compromised. Terminate signal project. They know." And then, as abruptly as it began, silence enveloped him, leaving Ethan breathless, heart racing, grappling with the enormity of what he had just witnessed. The following evening, Ethan found a plain white envelope taped to his door, devoid of any markings. Inside lay 6 chilling words typed in block letters: "Stop listening. They know you heard." His stomach dropped as he glanced around the empty parking lot, each shadow morphing into a potential threat. Rushing inside, he locked the door and pulled the blinds tight. But the unease only deepened when his phone buzzed. An anonymous text warned, "You have 48 hours. Leave town." Sleepless and paranoid, Ethan dismissed the threats as a prank until the moment he spotted a black SUV in his rearview mirror, its presence an ominous shadow following his every move. At a gas station, 2 men in suits sat inside, their eyes fixed on him like hawks. His instincts screamed to run, but instead, he drove home, packed a bag, and locked himself in, only to find that by nightfall, he was being stalked by more than just one vehicle. At 1:50 a.m., the weight of fear pushed him to flee. With his radio crammed into a backpack and cash hastily stuffed in his pockets, he slipped into the back alleys, weaving through side streets and highways, heading west into the unknown. Exactly at 2:13 a.m., the radio flared to life again, the very pulse that had ensnared him, now a beacon of chaos, blaring lines of desperate urgency. "If you can hear this, run. Trust no one. They'll kill you, like they killed us." Each word clawed at his sanity. Dawn brought him to a small diner off I-70 in Indiana, where the smell of burnt coffee barely masked the tension in the air. It was here he met her, Kara, tall with dark hair, a worn leather jacket, and a scar that told stories of its own. She took a seat across from him, her demeanor unyielding. "You're Ethan Myers," she stated flatly, knocking the breath from his lungs. "I do not know you," he stammered, confusion clouding his thoughts. "No, but I know what you heard." Her eyes locked onto his backpack with intent. As Kara unveiled the secrets of Project Signal, a military experiment gone awry. Ethan's world tilted on its axis. It had been designed to manipulate behavior, yet it spiraled out of control, leaving devastation in its wake. He was marked, she warned. He had heard too much. Their conversation was abruptly cut short when 3 men in suits stormed the diner, guns drawn, chasing them into a chaotic flight. Kara flipped a table for cover, the shattering of glass echoing their frantic escape as they jumped onto her black motorcycle. With the pulse of the radio echoing in his ears, they sped down the highway, pursued by the dark SUV that had haunted him. They reached an abandoned farmhouse on the Illinois border just before dawn, where Kara revealed the remnants of their fight against the signal. Maps lined the walls, and old equipment buzzed to life, promising a chance to expose the truth. As Ethan grappled with newfound purpose, the farmhouse trembled under the weight of the signal's return, amplifying the whispers that clouded his mind. In a heart-stopping climax, Ethan faced a choice that would decide the fate of many: destroy the signal or let it persist. He slammed the switch, activating a device that roared to life, shaking the very foundation of their hideaway. Silence followed, heavy and suffocating, as the world outside resumed its rhythm, but Ethan knew nothing would ever be the same. 3 days later, the story broke, and as chaos erupted around him, his radio clicked back to life. No pulse, no whispers, just the silence that lingered like a haunting specter, leaving him with one final question. Did he truly kill the signal, or had it merely gone quiet, waiting for the right moment to return?